Hey, and welcome back to Brass with Ben. I am super excited for today's lesson because we're going to be putting together all the stuff that we've learned in the previous lessons. So how to hold the trumpet, how to breathe through the trumpet, and how to make a sound on the trumpet. We're going to put those together today and learn three new notes, three of the first notes that we've learned so far, and we're going to even put them in a song. So I'm super excited. Let's get into it. So, we've learned how to hold the trumpet in that nice relaxed stance, 3 fingers on the top, pinky, thumb. We've got 2 fingers underneath, 2 fingers on top, in that ring just there for the middle finger and the thumb just there. Nice and relaxed. We've learned how to breathe the trumpet. Again, relaxed breaths right down into our belly, all the way down into the belly, using that diaphragm, expanding downwards rather than outwards and upwards. We've learned how to make a sound on the trumpet using that M shape, blowing the air out, using that raspberry and blowing the air out as well. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put those together all at the same time, and we're going to make a few beautiful notes on the trumpet. Let's get into it. So the very first note we're going to learn makes use of the first and second valve. So, first valve and the second valve. Just like that. It's the one closest to the mouthpiece and the one in the middle. And that one sounds a bit like this. Beautiful, give it a go. I'm excited to hear that sound, or I'm excited to hear how you feel like they sound. And that second note we're going to play is called a D, and we play it with the first and the third valves. So that is valves number 1 and 3. That's the valve closest to the mouthpiece and the valve closest to the bell. 1 and 3. And it sounds a bit like this. And again, every time we're making those notes, we're making sure that we're taking that deep, relaxed, full breath in, and when we're breathing out through the horn, we're making it feel like a bit of a sigh. So we're breathing out, nice and relaxed, nice and stable airstream. That'll get us the most beautiful note that we can. And the third note is the easiest note, which is why I left it till last, and that one's called a C. We play that one with these valves. Exactly. Not a single valve in this one. And it sounds a bit like this. So, you might have tried to play that E or that D or that C and it might have come out a bit like this. Or... So it could have been way too low or it could have been way too high. And the difference between those notes is the speed of the air. So, to get a high note, we play with faster air. To get a low note, we play with slower air. So, that's how we can make so many different notes on the trumpet. You might have been wondering, we've only got 3 valves. How do we play so many different notes? I'll give you a demonstration. Pressing down all 3 valves, I'm going to play a bunch of different notes. So that was a bunch of different notes by pressing down all of the same valves. So that's the difference between the slow air and the faster air. So if I don't press down anything, I can go like this. That's how bugles work as well, actually. So, how do we get faster air? We can think about perhaps tightening the lips to close off that aperture in between, which is the hole that we make in between our lips. That's going to do the same thing as, say, putting your thumb over the end of a hose. That'll spray the air a little bit faster, same as putting the thumb over the end of the hose will spray the water a little bit further. We can also think about it by using our tongue. So same as when we whistle, what we're doing is we're using our tongue and arching it to decrease the space, decrease that cavity area within our mouth, which makes the air go faster with the same amount of air. So it's the same, we can think of it with the hose analogy actually. So if we put our thumb over the end of the hose, we're decreasing the space that the water has to flow out of the hose. Therefore, with the same amount of water, it's going to go a lot further. Whereas if we take our thumb off, the water's going to drop down. If we increase the volume of water, it's going to drop down, but it's going to be a lot more water. And if we put our thumb over that, it's going to go even further. So that's how we get louder notes, is by increasing the volume of air. So that was by increasing the volume of air without increasing the speed of the air. So if we're playing too high, we have to increase the cavity or increase the aperture between our lips and make that air a little bit slower. If we're playing a little bit too low, we have to decrease the cavity space or the aperture size to make our air a little bit faster. Now we're going to learn a bit of a song, and it's called Hot Cross Buns, which is just in time for Easter. Excellent stuff. And that will use only those three notes that we've just looked at. The E, the D, and the C. Let's have a look. It sounds like this. So that's how Hot Cross Buns sounds. Now I'm going to put on something called a metronome. And a metronome is this little beautiful thing here. And this is what's going to help keep us in time if it'll focus on my metronome here. Like that, maybe. Yeah, there we go. It's got a bunch of different markings on the front. All we need to know is that it swings from side to side and it goes like this. So, you're going to be able to hear that in the background. And what's going to happen with this metronome is it's going to keep us in time. So when you hear that bell at the start, that's the first beat. So we're going to count along with that. And each of our notes for the first little section is going to be worth 2 beats. So we're going to play through that first section. So we're going to play E for 2 beats, then we're going to play D for 2 beats, then we're going to play C for 4 beats. And each of these clicks on the metronome is worth 1 beat. 1, 2, 3. Excellent, did you catch that? So that was E for 2 beats, D for 2 beats, C for 4 beats. And that's all we have to do for the first section. We just repeat that twice, so it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Again, so that one is that exactly, just repeated twice through. Hot cross buns, hot cross buns. Is what you can sing in your head if you feel like it. And then we've got the second section, or the B section perhaps, and that goes C, 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 D, 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 like this. And that is each of those C's and each of those D's for 1 beat. So we chuck that metronome on. 1, 2, 3. Give that a go. That's C, 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 D, 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 D. And then all we've got to do is add on that repeated first phrase twice, and then add once more on the end. So it goes, if you think about that first phrase as an A, and that middle phrase is C, 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 D, 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 as a B, it goes A, B, A. So it goes like this. 1, 2, 3. And that is Hot Cross Buns. We've just learnt that whole song, which is pretty fantastic. In what, like 9 minutes, we've learnt an entire song, which is amazing stuff. And if you have a look in the description, I'll have a little diagram and maybe a little bit of a sheet music as well. And if you look at that sheet music and you can't read it, that's okay. I'll have a video coming out super soon about the theory. So we'll be able to learn the theory behind it and how to read that music for that particular song. I'm looking forward to seeing some comments about how well you guys have done. And I'll see you in the next video.